Serena bought 5 shirts for $6 each and spent $7 on lunch. She paid for the shirts and lunch using her debit card. The change in the balance of Serena's checking account can be represented by the expression shown. Basically, whatever's described in this paragraph can be expressed in this expression. And they're asking which integer represents the change in the balance of Serena's checking account from these purchases. So all you have to do is solve this expression. I'm pretty sure this expression looks pretty confusing to you guys. So to break it down, first we have to establish that if there's two numbers right next to each other with no sign in between, even though there's like a little negative sign right there, that doesn't mean subtraction. That means the number is negative. So when you have a number right next to another number in parentheses, like this one, that just means multiply. So you're literally multiplying 5 times -6. This number is a number by itself. That is not a subtraction sign. So in order to make this not look confusing, we just put parentheses around it. So do you know how to multiply this? Alright, so in order to multiply this, you would do multiplication like you would do with any two numbers. So 5 times 6 equals 30. And we have a negative sign right here, and we need to know what to do with it. So in order to do that, we look at this chart I made. If you have two signs on numbers that are different signs and not the same signs like these ones, your answer would always result in a negative number. So here we have a +5 and a -6. And since you have two different signs, your result would be a negative. And therefore, the 30 would be a negative. So we solved the first part of the expression. Alright, now we're going to solve this part of our expression. So you have plus -7. What does this mean? This makes no sense, right? So if you have a random like parentheses number hanging out with no number in front of it, you assume there's a 1 there because you need to multiply this with something. So now we have a +1 and -7. That makes it easier, right? So you have numbers with two different signs. What do we do when there's two different signs? Results in a negative number. So what's 1 times 7? It's 7. And since you have two different signs with the plus and the negative, this becomes -7. Now we can combine the whole thing. We know that this part of the expression represents that, and this part of the expression represents this. Now we just have to merge them together. So here you have -30 and -7. Just put them together. -30 minus 7. Now that looks weird. Why are they both negative? When you have two negative or like the same signs things, remember here what we did here? You add. So what's 30 plus 7? 37. But since this is addition or subtraction, unlike these ones which were multiplication or division, for addition or subtraction, you would leave the sign there even if you added both of these numbers. So your result would be -37, and that's option A.